Hey there. So, I'm gonna be real. I'm a little bit mad right now. I'm mad and annoyed because I just recorded 3 episodes, and by just recorded, I meant literally, like, the past hour and a half, maybe. Maybe it's only been an hour, who knows. I've been recording, and none of the audio recorded, because I'm a dumbass. So I have to do this again, and I'm gonna be real, it was probably, like, the best episode I've recorded so far, and it's not there. So, I am mad. So we're gonna continue on. Yeah. I guess the one fun thing about this is that I can reuse jokes, and nobody will know. Nobody will be any the wiser. Except I'd probably be real honest with it, because, you know, I don't want to lie about that. Anyways, we're back with Hannah and her party, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Greetings such as these carry on as the guests continue to trickle in. Whether we have short conversations or merely shake hands and nod heads, I make sure to attend and welcome each of them. As the first hour passes us by, the rest of the stragglers and I adjourn to the ballroom. Any latecomers will have the attention of the porter instead. I have other duties to attend to now. Hosting parties is always the same old song and dance, no matter how big or small it is. You make sure your guests are well fed and have good company, and have them generally enjoy themselves. So when my opening remarks are done, when the band has started to play and the guests have started eating, I find myself wandering aimlessly unless I am pulled aside. For a while, I stay with a small group and entertain them before excusing myself. And when they're not entertained, nope, sorry, I'm blinded by rage. And when they're not anymore watching me, I end up watching them. When they don't listen, I do. A local banker is having trouble with his daughter. He wishes to marry her off, but she wants nothing more but to make music. One of our hotel managers worry about the stolen belongings of one of its patrons, a failing in security which should be brought up to the higher authorities soon. Our mayor, well, his cat died. Then there's this rose-haired woman once again. It is hard not to notice her with her distinctive locks. She also lacks the grace that the other ladies have, that does not make her any less beautiful. Her stance and her air she exudes instead are strong, and they make her stand out despite her casual attire. This whole thing about her talking with Becca just gives off serious, like, bi energy. That's what I personally had canon. I think she's bi. I think Hannah's bi, but, you know. Many men have already given her their attention, though each invitation to the dance has been turned down. I approach, intrigued, although it is no great mystery that occupies her own attention, with the glances she keeps sending towards the boy with the oriental hair. It's Ash! It's Ash! Oh yeah, by the way, I'm not gonna spoil what happens. Shit actually, like, picks up, and that's all I'll say, but, like, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but it's obvious that it's Ash, because it's established that she's in love with Ash. She remains unaware, though, even as I stand beside her, pretending that I'm there for a drink. A cool drink of water, a cool drink of punch, which is shaded pink. And her name is Becca.
You would catch his eye a lot better if you wore nicer clothes, don't you think?
Didn't realize the housewarming was going to be this fancy. I would have gone with a nice dress if I knew.
Oh, you're fine, dearie. It's only really the parvenus, those who climb, that come to these parties all dolled up. Quite the black-haired beauty, isn't he?
She's talking about Ash as if he's like a horse. That black-haired beauty over there, look at how fast he can gallop across the fields. The boy comes over, but I do nothing to speak any softer. He merely passes by, and it is a wonder he doesn't hear what I say.
Who, Ash?
You know, you really shouldn't have turned down those offers. If I wasn't married, I'd happily go dancing with those young men. But you said a name. Ash. That's the exquisite lad you've been looking at all this time. I don't know him, and I'm the one hosting this party. That must mean you know each other. Is he your boyfriend, then? Because that would explain those rejections.
In all my life, I've never seen a face grow red so fast. The shade of her hair did not help as well. This is the most pink I've ever seen on a person, really.
What? No, that's ridiculous. He isn't my boyfriend.
Such a violent reaction. A simple no would have sufficed. Many here would be happy to hear it.
And I haven't been looking at him.
That's right. You've been staring. Quite heatedly, in fact. Although I'm not sure if you look like you want to kiss him or kill him.
For a little bit of both.
It's more the latter currently.
Just don't go murdering him on my property.
And if you do, please, I beg of you, or ask of you, just please stuff them down in the wine cellar with the rest of the bodies.
I don't want to walk into a room and suddenly find a body there.
I waver as I feel the burning of someone's stares. It is chilling, and though I'm not used to enduring the gaze of others, this one makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Hey there. Hey. I don't know what her voice... I guess her voice is like, help me. Hey. Could you get me a drink? I'm not old enough to drink. Please, I could really use a vodka crayon. I'm dying over here. Piggyback, please. That goes out to all my JoJo fans. My attention is pulled from the girl, and I see a woman staring, so she can see her. No, you can't see this. And she does the John Cena thing where she puts her hand over her face. You can't see me. Dark-haired and dirty, she looks more like a beggar than a guest, and I have the mind to call security at her when her mouth breaks out into a grin. Oh, are you looking at my friend back here? That's my girlfriend. I know she's a little out of place. She's what you would call a goth, which you might not be used to, at such parties. Please don't mind her eyeliner, her red eyeliner. That's just part of her aesthetic. She has watery eyes. It's her it's her allergies to the rich. She cries, and who doesn't when they see a rich person? This is so stupid. Oh my gosh. All I hear is her laughing. Please, babe, I need a drink. I'm so thirsty. I'm dying. Please, my throat hurts so bad. Taunting. Her stare makes my blood run cold. Similar to the blood the mascara, that's running down from her eyes. She looks at me like I'm nothing but a pig to slaughter for her amusement. To be fair, you are rich. It makes my hand shake and I nearly drop my drink. And as I do so, I see the woman just begin to scramble to the floor to lick up any droplets for her aching throat. But then, in a blink of an eye, she's gone, and the buzz of the party returns.
I'll keep that in mind, but... Are you alright?
Yes, sorry. I just thought I saw something strange. It must be the trick of the light. Anyway, on a right, as you must already know.
Maybe it wasn't the lights. I am noticing something about you, though, miss. I'm so sorry if this comes off as a little presumptuous, but are you somehow related to... Wait. Oh shit, I don't know her last name, actually. Are you somehow related to Amy from the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise? You look exactly like her.
Rebecca Gales.
Gales.
Gills. Are you a fish by chance? Which is weird because you are Amy from Sonic the Hedgehog. Is Amy a cat or is she a hedgehog? I don't remember. I think she's a cat. But as far as I know, a cat can't be a fish. The name is familiar, like a fond memory. I recall a kind lady, a private tutor who treated me like her own daughter when I was young. She'd even bring me food when there was no need to do so. Usually stovies. Stovies. That sounds like just a really hot anchovy, like one that you just you wouldn't put it in a pot on the stove, you just put it directly on top of the stove, so it gets all gross and dirty with whatever cleaning agent you're using for the stove. That's what a stovey is. Which I honestly hadn't been too keen about, though I ate them nonetheless because she brought them for me.
Oh, little Becky.
My parents couldn't make it since they're in Scotland right now. And Mom says hi, by the way. But yeah, that's me. Little Becky. We met once before.
Yes, oh, I remember you. You were the cutest little thing with glasses.
I also recall you having a hammer of sorts. I've noticed you've outgrown that, which is quite strange since it did make you look so powerful.
And when we met, you were having boy troubles with this lad called something with an A.
I can't make a Sonic joke out of that one. Let me think.
What was it again?
Was it Eggman? Wait, no. Shit. I was like, wait a minute, isn't Dr. Eggman's name Alfred? And I was like, no, wait a minute. I'm thinking of Snapcube. I don't know. Ivo Robotnik, maybe? It's not an A, which sucks.
Aaron, Alan, Adele, Albert, Alexander, Andrew?
The more I list off names, the more red and more quiet Becky gets. She starts to look a bit miserable as her body language shows discomfort and stillness. Perhaps I've triggered a horrid childhood memory. Surely, I hadn't been mean when I visited with her mother. I don't quite remember all of it.
Ashton! Ash! That man is that boy! The same one. Oh, goodness me, after all these years!
If she's Amy, Ash feels like he'd be Shadow, but like I have to go with the trend of like he has to be Sonic then if she's Amy.
I can see why though. He's quite dashing.
He's quite dashing, and he runs like the wind. I hear they call him the Blue Blur. Is that true? Is that true, Becca? I also heard about his obsession with chili dogs, which is quite unfortunate. It really can ruin the figure.
You don't really need to announce it to everyone within earshot, you know? Keep it down.
I'm so sorry, but it really is cute.
And a tad bit sad.
This is a nice party, Miss Wright.
Please, Anna's fine. We're friends of a sort, aren't we? We must be friends, seeing as I know about your little infatuation, Becky.
I mean, who isn't infatuated with just a pure sex lord like Sonic the Hedgehog?
Don't you worry, dearie. You'll have your happy ending yet.
Don't worry, Ash will pick you up and hold you in his arms as he runs across perfectly green fields with blue skies. And maybe I'm misremembering, but he did do that with a human woman, didn't he? Maybe he'll do that with you now, since you are both animals. Why did Sonic kiss a human girl? Why did he kiss a human girl? Oh, okay.
I'm not too concerned about that, am I? That's not what I'm looking for.
Oh? And what makes you think that? Doesn't everybody want their happy ending?
The idea of happy endings sounds like they're just for fairy tales.
And this isn't a fairy tale. This is... It can't be a fairy tale when we're in Green Hill Zone, the most realist place on Earth.
And they are, sorta. I don't think you can just sit around, trapped in some tower and hope for the best. If you love them, you have to fight for it, right?
And I can fight for them. Check out this giant fucking hammer that I still have.
You're not just going to sit there and hope that everything will just fix itself on its own. Like everything, you have to work at it.
You could fix it with your hammer.
But what do I know?
There's a grimace, although she starts to relax around my presence. How long has it been since we met as children? Certainly a long time. She was tiny back then, if I recall correctly.
I'm sure the daughter of the two greatest professors I've ever known is smart enough to know what she's talking about. But have you told him how you feel? And it's been what, 20 years?
17, actually. But no, not yet. He can be a bit dense. I was hoping that maybe he'd notice on his own and...
All the brain cells in his head just go straight to his feet. I mean, they'd have to be in his feet since he has such. I can't make that joke. He has such beautiful toes. Just perfect for running.
Well, that won't do. What if you two become husband and wife? He's not to be dense when he's sworn himself to another person. Why, you might just as well consider leaving before the day's even begun.
If that happens, I'll have to give him a good ear bashing, won't I?
That's what the hammer's for.
Whoever anyone ends up with, it's not going to be a perfect relationship anyway. There's going to be things you'll love and things you'll hate about the other person. We're just humans.
For example, my voice for them to sound the same, but I'm Hannah. I'm Hannah. For example, I really hate my husband's just blatant racism and, I would say borderline misogyny. But he's so good in bed. Like, I cannot tell you how good he is in bed.
It's funny. Here I am, trying to give you advice when you did the very same thing back then. I remember you giving me a makeover when we were still kids. And you were the first I told anyone about my crush.
My crush, Sota. You know it's my favorite. I do remember now that she's mentioned it. Did I give her that yellow sundress or the pink blouse and the petticoat? She must have kept some of what I said in mind. It feels ridiculous remembering all these years later, talking about boys and how they go crazy for pretty girls, as if it's some gospel every woman should adhere to. It was so easy to say such things then, with me not knowing any better. Though, look at her now, she must have kept some of what I said in mind. Perhaps I did say something good at the time, enough for her to take it to heart. But all that didn't matter in the moment as I mull over what she just said in my head. What Becky told me is different from what Marianne told me. There is no time to ponder over that, however, as a hush descends upon the once lively crowd. The music of the strings and the chatter slows to a grinding halt as the doors from the foyer opens. Gee, I wonder who it could be. The last of the latecomers should have arrived moments ago, and anyone else this late should simply be too embarrassed to show their face. So this can only be one person, or rather one bitch. There's only one bitch who is audacious enough to arrive late to his own party.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Enjoying the party? I hope I'm not too late in welcoming you all to the right mansion.
Unlike I, who was raised in the spotlight and simply grew used to its presence, he sought it out at every chance he could, even when there was no spotlight that shone. That's why he openly ran into the sunlight, just in full nude, just to get some sort of spotlight on him. And I'll never put it against him when he smiles like that. He did so quite brilliantly under the scrutiny when he channels his showmanship. You could tell by the way people's eyes light up as he speaks. How they listen enraptured even though all he's doing is a simple greeting. A little wave of his hand here, a little smile, and a bit of swagger. A bit of swagger for that fat ass of his. I always tell him that if he was not a businessman, then his fat ass and swagger could just lead him to be an entertainer. I love the sight of him, especially when he looks at me and he beckons me over to humbly share his place. Stop, please. Not a single second is wasted as I excuse myself from Becky's side, and I make my way to Luke's.
Welcome one and all to our humble abode. Tonight, if you have yet to find yourself in your roles, you are our ladies and lords of the court of your king and queen, if you would excuse my presumptuousness.
I wouldn't even mind, this quirky, over the top, haha, I'm not the rich part, that's bullshit, but, him being over the top and, in the spotlight, that's, charming with characters who are actually, good people. And this is not a good person, so I'm very much annoyed by literally everything he says.
So, enjoy the feast that has been laid out for your senses as we only allowed the best to be served.
This series is just Stormy versus Luke, where I repeatedly beat the ever-living shit out of him. Just every episode, every time he comes on screen.
Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone!
There's a round of applause, cheers, and even some hoots. Even some cahoots, which we do have playing on a projector on the wall. And everybody starts Fortnite dancing to the Kahoot song. Guests approach us left and right to shake Luke's hand and to greet him personally. Praises on their lips. Their lips just searching for his dick. It is because of this that I do not see her. I did not see her until she's dangerously close, with the fury in her eyes. And she's already spitting venom. Hello there. Johans restrains her, taking care not to unnecessarily harm the pregnant woman. But that does little to deter her rage. And the man has no choice but to let her go, lest an unborn child is hurt. Although it might be too late for that, as I see an empty glass of wine in her hand. How much is she embedded in?
Are you feeling ill, Rochelle?
Oh, that's Rochelle.
Perhaps you need to sit down and...
I can't even pretend like I don't know that's Rochelle. Like, I've played this already, I know.
No! Shut it, you munter! I ain't talking to you! I'm talking to this scumbag over here! You bloody bastard standing there with your smarmy smile!
Dude, kill him. She interrupts me, jabbing her fingers in my direction before she roundhouse kicks Luke in the face. Even as whispers and murmurs break out among the guests, all I can focus on is the heat of the moment, the foot against his face, the way he topples over to the ground as she continues to curb stomp him. Obviously intoxicating, judged by the smell of alcohol in her breath. I'm not ticked off by this little display of hers, at least not yet. But I am absolutely pissed by the fact that she'd endangered her own baby by drinking. There's a considerable amount of restraint and grace that I must exercise while I wait for her tantrum to subside. I keep a patient, if tight, smile on my face. Luke's expression, on the other hand, is indecipherable.
Watch your tongue! You're on thin ice, Rochelle.
Shit.
Where's your husband? Who even invited you?
I did.
And I told you with great emphasis not to. Now we have a drunk, hormonal, pregnant woman causing a stir. What is even going on?
I'm just about to ask the exact same thing.
I don't know. But Rochelle, do calm down before you hurt yourself.
Or you roundhouse my husband again.
I can't understand a word you're saying.
Where is that husband of yours? Lee! Collect your wife right now!
Don't you fucking talk like I'm not here and you're not responsible, you ass! You told me that I should wait for you in the gardens!
Excuse me. What is this nonsense you're going on about?
Crazy talk! That's all it is! Just completely and utterly mad! Has anyone seen the Chief Inspector?
I am pregnant with your little bastard! You promised me you'll take responsibility.
Ooh, he got her pregnant. I already knew about this. Obviously, I played it. And I'm gonna tell you this right up front. I fucking guessed it, and I knew it. I can't give you the proof because it's gone, and I didn't record it. But my god, I 100% got it.
God damn it, Luke! I finally got you to talk to me after months of silence, and you do this to me!
What? What?
What do you mean you're pregnant with? Luke, is this true?
Lies and slander, woman! Security! Johans, take her out of here before she makes an even bigger fool of herself!
No, you do not do this to me!
I mean, he did do it. he did do it to her. Photoshop's in that I had to do it to him, guy.
I was so ready to leave my stupid oaf of a husband. I told you to leave that damn wife of yours. Look at her. Does she look like she wants a baby?
To be fair, Luke is the closest thing to a child she has.
Does she look like she could take care of a baby?
It is now that Johans returns with security, along with a concerned looking Officer Lee. You know what? We'll call it quits for now. I still have 2 more episodes about it to redo, so... But thank you so much for joining me. And shit, it's so hard to do, like, an ending thing since I know what happens for a little bit of the story, so I can't just be like, oh man, I hope this happens, and have it be like a cool prediction because I actually know everything. Because I'm God. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. And, I'm still mad about, losing the recording, or I guess not recording it at all in the first place, but I'm having an okay time. This is okay. I'm okay. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it, and good.